In a big diplomatic victory for India, Colombia has officially withdrawn its previous statement in which it extended condolences to Pakistan following India's Operation Sindoor. This move comes after a high-level engagement by a multi-party delegation led by Congress MP Shashi Tharoor during their official visit to Bogota. The delegation met with Colombia's Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs and presented India's position on cross-border terrorism and the context of Operation Sindoor. Following the meeting, the Colombian government issued a clarification, clearly distancing itself from its previous stand and expressing full support to India's counter-terror efforts. Well, this change in Colombia's statement is a big reality check to the so-called Saboot Brigade back home, those who rush to ridicule India's diplomatic outreach, questioning its intent and effectiveness. Congress leaders like Ajay Rai and Jairam Ramesh openly mocked the delegation's visit and cast aspersions on government's narrative. But now, Colombia's U-turn stands as a reality check. At a time when global opinion matters more than ever in fight against terrorism or in any conflict kind of a situation, India's strategic engagement has delivered. And this is the proof. The same Colombia that once appeared to side with Pakistan is now aligned with India's position. Shashi Tharoor welcomed Colombia's decision, the change of heart. He emphasized that there can be no equivalence between terrorists and innocent civilians, nor between those who attack a nation and those who defend it. He said the only disappointment with Colombia's earlier statement was that it appeared to overlook this critical distinction. Shashi Tharoor further added that he is pleased to see the clarification now issued by Colombian government and expressed confidence that as representatives of the people of Colombia, they are determined to stand with India in support of its sovereignty. Listen in.
There is no equivalence possible between terrorists on the one hand and innocent civilians on the other. There is no equivalence between those who attack our country and those who defend their own country. And our only disappointment with the earlier statement by Colombia was that it seemed to have overlooked this difference. We're very pleased to learn that that statement has been withdrawn, as you also mentioned, and we are also very pleased that you, as representatives of the people of Colombia, are determined to stand with us for our sovereignty, for peace in the world, for peace in the subcontinent of India, and that you are very, very happy that this kind of dialogue will continue between our peoples and our representatives.
India, that Colombia has a lot of solidarity with India. We are your friends. We are partners. We reject any kind of terrorism. So be certain that any circumstance, at any situation, we will be on your side.
And before we move ahead, let's listen in to what Congress leaders Jairam Ramesh and Ajay Rai had earlier said about India's delegation abroad.
एक महीना हो गया, 22 अप्रैल को पहलगाम की क्रूर घटना आतंकवाद हमला हुआ था। आज भी वो आतंकवादी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं। दिसंबर 2023 को पूंछ में आतंकी हमले में उनकी एक भूमिका थी। अक्टूबर 2024 में गांदरबल में आतंकवादी हमला हुआ, उसमें उनकी भूमिका थी। उसी महीने अक्टूबर 2024 को गुलमर्ग में एक आतंकवादी हमला हुआ था, उसमें उनकी भूमिका थी। यानी कि ये जो पहलगाम के आतंकवादी हैं, उन्होंने 4 आतंकी हमले कराए हैं 18 महीने में। आज वह यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं। हमारे सांसद भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं और आतंकवादी भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं। तो यही तो गंभीरता से हम ये सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, इन सवालों का जवाब नहीं देते हैं।
मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूँगा कि सरकार पूरी तरीके से फेल है। अपने फेलियर को छिपाने के लिए ये अलग अलग रास्ते अपना रहे हैं, अलग अलग डेलीगेशंस भेज रहे हैं, पर कहीं पर भी आम जनता समझ चुकी है कि ये केवल और केवल जनता को बेवकूफ़ बनाया गया।
Now, viewers, members of Indian delegation visiting Colombia have clarified that Colombia's earlier pro-Pakistan statement perhaps stemmed from a lack of understanding of the factual matrix surrounding the situation in Pahalgam. Delegation members said Colombia may not have been fully aware of the circumstances that led to India's response via Operation Sindoor. Listen in.
When the Pahalgam incident took place, the terrorist attack took place, and India initiated Operation Sindoor, Colombian authorities, Colombian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, very surprisingly and unexpectedly released a statement offering condolences to the loss of lives in Pakistan. And this was very disappointing and also unexpected. Perhaps this was because of a lack of understanding of the factual matrix of what actually took place in Pahalgam, and India had to respond in the way it did.
When 26/11 happened, when 173 civilians were killed in cold blood in Mumbai, I happened to be in that city. If we don't come together as a whole world against terrorism, then this will continue. So it's not just an India challenge, I think it's a world challenge. And Colombia has suffered, you conquered. We seek your understanding, not just as officials, but also as people, so that you can communicate to the Colombian masses, as we will go back and communicate the friendship that we developed outside of the narrow point that we made on Sindhoor with our own people. I think across this table, we have approximately 12 million people represented, just the legislators here itself. And I think what we see, as we saw in the meeting earlier today, what we saw yesterday, what we saw the last evening when we had dinner, is a tremendous amount of cultural bonhomie between the two nations.
आज बहुत बड़ी सभा थी भारतीय प्रवासियों की, आ रहे तो कुछ पाकिस्तानी नारेबाजी कर रहे थे, उनका अधिकार है, 10 मिनट के लिए आए थे, क्योंकि फ्रांस हो या इटली हो या फिर डेनमार्क हो, हम लोग के डेलीगेशन को इतना अधिक समर्थन मिल रहा है सभी वर्गों का आतंकवाद के खिलाफ, इसको लेके वो परेशान हो गए। तो मुझे लगता है जो IMF का पैसा आया था, तो वहां से कहा गया कुछ तो करो, तो मेरा भी नाम ले रहे थे और 15-20 मिनट चले गए। तो यही पाकिस्तान की सच्चाई है।